Hey guys, Trudy here from It's a True Story. And today we have a very nice True Story time because it's October and it's Halloween. And you know, I do things for you so you don't have to. Like, it's a lot of facing my fears. And I have a lot of fears, like a little bit of heights. I don't really like puppets, especially marionettes, carnies, and of course, clowns and Victorian dolls. So here I am today with a clown and a Victorian doll. 1 second of a true story, and then we're going to go into a story time reading just for the holiday. And okay, so my fear of dolls is very specific and it's very real. This is what happened. As a child, my mother got me a doll. It was a Mrs. Beasley doll, which was like this really scary doll from this All in the Family show, and I loathed the doll, and I definitely matted her hair and did things to her that probably you shouldn't do to dolls because it was terrifying. And then I could swear I would hear her walking around at night. And then one day, as an adult, I was telling my brother this story, and he was like, oh my God, I totally heard Mrs. Beasley walking around too. That's a true story. So I do believe that dolls come alive at night, and not in a good way. Anyways, speaking of dolls coming alive, there's this book that I want to thank my friend Melissa for turning me on to because I haven't slept since I got it 2 months ago. It's called The Lonely Doll, and it's by a woman named Dare Wright. Yes, that's true. So we're going to have a nice story time right now with my terrifying friends, this lovely Victorian doll, and this clown. And he's really scared. Okay, Lonely Doll. Once there was a little doll. Her name was Edith. She lived in a nice house and had everything she needed except somebody to play with. She was very lonely. Every night when she said her prayers, she pleaded, please, please send me some friends. And every morning when she ate breakfast all by herself, she sighed and wished for company. Every day when she fed the pigeons, she'd beg, please stay and talk to me. But the pigeons just ate and flew away. Because you know what, pigeons are kind of dicks. We'll just be honest about that. Then one morning, Edith looked into the garden and there stood 2 bears. The big bear bowed. You must be Edith, he said. I am Mr. Bear and this is Little Bear. We've come to be your friends. You know what? Teddy bears are a little freaky too, if you really think about it. Edith clapped her hands with joy. You must have found me because I wished so hard, she cried. Mr. Bear gave her head a kindly pat. Just wait and see what fun we'll have, Little Bear whispered into Edith's ear. She had never met any bears before, but she liked them at once. By the way, when strangers come to your door and they're like, hey, let's go hang out and play, even if they're cute and cuddly, like, really? From then on, Edith was never lonely again. Little Bear was right. They really did have fun. Of course, Mr. Bear made Edith and Little Bear do their lessons every day, but there was lots of time left for adventures. When they were good, Mr. Bear took them all to all kinds of interesting places. They went to the park. They went to the beach. They went fishing. By the way, if I saw a doll and some teddy bears like doing all that stuff in real life, I'd be terrified. Almost like scary clowns in trees. Not that you should go in a tree. Don't go in a tree. But when they were naughty, Mr. Bear had to scold them because they got too dirty. Let me say a punitive bear is never good. Or they climbed too high. Or they went too far alone. One rainy day, Mr. Bear left Edith and Little Bear home by themselves. Now don't get into any trouble, he said. This is the part where you know it starts getting really twisted because Little Bear and Edith are out of their minds. I hate rain, Edith grumbled crossly. Why couldn't Mr. Bear take us with him? There's nothing for us to do indoors. We'll find something, said Little Bear. Come on, let's explore the house. They discovered a beautiful dressing room with a big mirror. Edith climbed to look at herself and got very cross indeed. My hair looks dreadful and I'm tired of this old dress, she muttered. Look what I found, called Little Bear, a whole closet full of clothes. Let's dress up. This is where I start loving Little Bear because that's the spirit Little Bear. It's very like a Little Bear drag queen, which I love. Oh, let's, agreed Edith. But first, let's do something about my hair. She tried making it into a knot. That looked very grown up. Edith's looking even more creepy than ever before. Try a flower, offered Little Bear. He snatched a rose from a vase. All the water spilled, but Edith didn't care. This is where Edith is starting to really run amok. Thanks, Little Bear. Then came the high-heeled shoes and a ruffled petticoat. I think we know where Little Bear and Edith are going with this whole thing, and it's getting nuts. And a hat with roses and ribbons, and Little Bear discovered the jewel box. Now Little Bear's completely rocking out. This is the part of the story I really enjoy, actually. Finally, they stopped to admire each other. All you need now, Edith, is lipstick, Little Bear said. Oh, I'd never dare, Edith worried. You know what Mr. Bear would say. Who cares what Mr. Bear says? I don't, cried Little Bear. Side note, it's really strange that Little Bear calls his dad Mr. Bear, which is like, what is that all about anyways? He grabbed the lipstick and scrawled all across the mirror. Mr. Bear is just a silly old thing. So on went the lipstick, but in the mirror, Edith saw Mr. Bear watching. Okay, now it's like a weirdo peep show, and it's getting really gross. Just look at this mess, he said sternly. These things aren't yours, and you know you're too young for lipstick, Edith. I am not, replied Edith, and I don't care what you say anyways. You're silly. Okay, Edith just took her life into her own hands by telling a bear that he's silly. Okay, and this is the part of the story that everyone's terrified about. I may be silly, Mr. Bear answered, but I know when a naughty little girl needs a spanking. Little Bear couldn't watch. He was afraid his turn was next. And, of course, he was right. Oh my God, spankings all around y'all. Now clean up every bit of this mess, and Edith, stop that crying, Mr. Bear ordered sharply as he left. But Edith went on crying as if her heart would break. Oh, stop it, grumbled Little Bear. It isn't like a girl to cry because she gets spanked. It's not that, Edith sobbed. I'm scared. Okay, it's true. Don't cry if you get spanked, but like, Mr. Bear is really, he's out of his mind. Now he's getting crazy. It could get awful. Scared, Little Bear shouted. Scared of what? Mr. Bear's so angry, Edith wailed. What if he goes away and takes you with him? I'll be all alone again. Okay, let's just have a moment about being abused and domestic violence, and I'm just letting everybody know that wasn't cool, Mr. Bear. Little Bear didn't like the idea at all. You stop crying, Edith, he coaxed. I'll put all the clothes away, and I'll even tell Mr. Bear I'm sorry. I think Little Bear is just a little afraid that Mr. Bear is going to beat the tar out of him when Edith isn't around, and at least they can split it, which is very upsetting. Edith and Little Bear worked so hard that everything was tidy in no time. They found Mr. Bear reading his paper. Well, he said. I'm sorry, Edith said softly. I don't really think you're a bit silly. Yes, we're sorry, admitted Little Bear, and we cleaned everything up. And we won't do it again, declared Edith. Well now, said Mr. Bear, in that case, I think perhaps we can forget all about it. Although, of course, you and I and my friend the clown are going to be scarred for life with that punitive bear and Edith and lipstick and high heel. The whole thing is just a mess. Oh, thank you, Mr. Bear, cried Edith, hugging him. I do just love you. I've been so happy since you came to be my friends. Please, will you promise to stay with me forever? Yes, forever, promised Mr. Bear solemnly. That's like striking terror in my heart. I don't know about you guys with the like punitive, scary bear. Forever and ever, cried Little Bear. And they did. Sketch look on Edith's face. You know, she's not that happy. But she's not lonely anymore. The end. And the end. That's it, you guys. That's all we have for today's True Story Time. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, press that like button. Please subscribe. We're back here every first and third Thursday of the month. And I'd like to thank Dare Wright for terrifying me and adding to my list of fears teddy bears. I'd like to thank my friend the clown and this other doll who's not lonely because now the clown has her. And you should be scared. Be very scared. Bye.